This episode is brought to you by Naked Fig Soap. Shop over a dozen handcrafted artisan soaps locally sourced and made in Arizona using the finest non-toxic intentional ingredients. Naked Fig Soap also offers facial care products along with accessories like soap dishes, soap saver bags, and more.
Visit their website at nakedfigsoap.com and use code DRUMMINGUP, all one word, for 20% off online orders. And that is the best place to find her now.
Yes.
She doesn't really have a storefront so much as she has
As of right now.
Yeah, as of right now,
Yes.
she has her products in certain locations,
Yes.
which again is the best place to find her is at her nakedfigsoap.com website.
Yes.
Or her socials. Instagram is a great spot to find her. Ask her any questions where she's going to be at like a farmer's market.
Yes.
You can find all that out. Or
But coming up, she's
Yeah.
moving to bigger and better opportunities.
Yes, absolutely. And we're very happy to hear that because,
Yes.
we just want to
She's
make
one
sure
of our
she's doing
favorite,
okay.
favorite companies.
Oh, yeah. Whenever we're getting low, we always place our order.
Yes.
And again, use that code drumming up,
Yes.
all one word, to get that 20% off discount.
For sure.
nakedfigsoap.com. It'll be in the show notes. We'll have her website. And then the best thing to do is from the website, go find her socials, follow her. That helps her. And by you doing that, it helps us because we know you're listening and we know you're buying her great products. She also offers tattoo care and everything too.
Yes,
so
she does.
just a ton of stuff that she does. It's all locally made and everything. So what was that website again?
That is nakedfigsoap.com.
Using code drumming
Drumming
up,
Up.
all one word, for 20% off at checkout.
Hi there, this is Julian of Gorad, and you are listening to Drumming Up Conversation. Hell yeah.
Drumming up conversation. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Conversation. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Conversation. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Conversation. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Conversation. Yeah.
Hey, this is Jeff Bowders, and you are watching the Drumming Up Conversation podcast.
All right. So today we're joined by Bob and Jules from 1764 Vineyards. How are you doing this morning?
We're doing great.
Awesome.
Nice, relaxing Sunday morning. So
Yeah,
it's all good.
not bad. Not
Thank
bad.
you very much for coming on the
Yeah,
podcast.
We appreciate it. So,
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
of
Yeah.
course. So what inspired you to start a vineyard?
It was one of those things where it was all about timing.
Okay.
Our youngest was about ready to graduate high school, 2 years or so. So we're in 2012 at this point.
Okay.
And I worked remotely at the time, and I still do, kind of before it was cool. And so we got to talking, Jules and I, about what we wanted to do after the kids left the house, right? Because all the flexibility was ours, go do anything. So where the inspiration occurred, we were at a wine festival. So this was then October of that same year, 2012. It was our 24th wedding anniversary. And we're on this vineyard. It's gorgeous. It's October. It's beautiful. And we're drinking wine. And I lean over to her. I said, I'm pointing out at this vineyard. I bet we could figure out how to do this. And so that kind of ignited the fuse, if you will. And after some research and a lot of thought, we jumped into it. A lot of wine. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big undertaking for
Yeah,
sure.
no kidding.
Yeah.
And where did the name 1764 come from?
It's a story about our family.
Okay.
My wife and I and our two kids, Renee and
Okay.
Rob. So there's a lot of characteristics from the four of us that are embedded within the name and within the brand. But ultimately, it starts with the idea of being defiant, doing something a little different, chasing your dreams, doing what you want to do, finding your own path, that sort of thing. That idea. And so, if you're ready, we're going to start this story. All right.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So I don't have a picture, but if you can see it on my arm, it's an asterisk.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
So the asterisk is important to us because an asterisk, you can use that as a wild card, which means you get to assign its meaning, determine what it means. Like, what do you want to drink for breakfast, or who you want to hang out with, and the life you want to live, right? It's all very unique and personal. And we were thinking also about all the differences that are around us, the uniqueness, the beauty that exists around us and other people and where we live and so forth. And so that asterisk is meant to capture all of that for us. And so from here on, we get a little geeky and start talking about literature and some of the other things I mentioned at the outset.
Awesome.
So an asterisk is, of course, a key on your computer keyboard.
Yes.
Right. Every key has a code. The code number for the asterisk happens to be 42.
Okay.
Now, if you're familiar with the author, Douglas Adams, perhaps his work, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay.
In this book, or a movie I think is on Netflix or someplace, in this book, the question is addressed. The question is ultimately, what is the answer to life, the universe, and everything? The answer given in the book was 42. So deliberately tying it back to the asterisk, effectively saying how you answer that question, it's entirely up to you, right? Don't let anybody tell you how to answer that question. You decide what it should mean. Okay, so I'm at 42, but I got to get you to 1764. So how are we going to do that? Remember that math I mentioned? Yeah, we're going to use a little math. We're going to square the number 42. That's 1764. Mathematically, we call that a perfect square. Yes, we are a little geeky. Yes, I have an engineering background, so that's where some of that comes from.
No problem. Yeah.
So 1764 has two important tie-ins to us. First is historically. She was a history major back in the day before we jumped into all of this.
Cool.
So in that year, British Parliament passed the Sugar Act on her colonies. Okay, we got a little defiant about that. We know how that story ultimately plays out. Better and different, right? Now to finish up the story, and I mentioned science fiction. So here we go. We love sci-fi, but Star Trek is our jam.
Okay.
Yes.
So in this one particular episode, way back in the original series, this ship appeared. By the end of the episode, it's gone off on its own unique journey. So the number of the ship was 1764. The name of the ship, Defiant. So like, okay, we have all these themes coming together about defiance and doing things differently and figuring out how we want to, each of us want to live our lives and that sort of thing. So what are we trying to say? Ultimately, I think it comes down to this. Be different, stand apart, find your own path. But for those people that come across your path, just embrace them for who they are. Don't be judgy. That's what we try to do out here.
That's awesome.
There you go.
That's really, really cool. I love that because I love literature. I love history. We love all that stuff. So
Cool.
I'm actually making a concept album with my band right now in regards to a historical part in history and all that with the Spartans War. So
Okay.
yeah,
Right on.
I go pretty far back in some
That's
couple
going back
thousand
there,
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Good
So
stuff.
prior, you had no winemaking experience at all.
None whatsoever.
How
Knew it
scared were you
existed.
going into it?
Pardon me?
How scared were you going into it?
Petrified.
Yeah.
I had just, as Bob said, we picked up shortly after our son graduated, and like literally within 2 weeks after our son graduated from high school, and moved to Cottonwood, Arizona here. The Yavapai County Community College has the only viticulture and enology program in the state. I enrolled, and within literally 3 weeks of moving into our house, I was in school, and I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What am I doing? I mean, I had been in retail. I
Mhm.
worked for Safeway for 20 some years.
Okay.
And I was a city kid. He was the one who grew up in the country, and I was a city kid. I was always in the suburbs, and then all of a sudden we're out in a small town, not tiny, but small town. And then we moved down here, and I'm like, holy shit. Excuse me.
Oh,
No,
you're
you're
good.
good.
We encourage it. So
This is freaking me out. I was literally petrified. Like, how am I gonna make this work? So but I had great support from the hubby and the kids. So far we've been doing pretty good.
Where did you move from?
Chandler, Arizona.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I mean, just Chandler to Cottonwood and then Cottonwood out here to the middle of nowhere. And we love it. So,
And what part of the winemaking process do you enjoy the most? Because I know there's a lot to it. So,
oi, I think
End of the season.
end of the season, yeah, no. In the literal winemaking process, I really enjoy the yeast inoculation, the yeast addition to the wine, selecting that yeast, figuring out how each yeast is going to interact with the grapes that we're purchasing or we're harvesting. It's a lot of fun doing that research. It's like a seed catalog. You got to sit there and read everything. And but I think that's the best part is watching the yeast bloom and adding the juice and then adding it to the actual grape must, which is the grape skins and all that kind of good stuff. And then just watching it take off.
yeah.
Because it's kind of exciting. It's like, yay, it worked.
And are there, excuse me, are there any grapes that you favor using?
For
Yeah.
sure. Big fan of Petit Verdot.
Okay.
Picpoul Blanc are a couple of our favorites. But then if I look out in my vineyard, vineyard is still fairly young, most of it. So it's still got some growing to do, but there's some things that I'm looking at that I'm really anxious to get a hold of or to get some fruit off of. Sagrantino,
Okay.
nice big heavy Italian red, and then Vermentino is another white grape.
Shiny white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
not a lot of folks are doing those, so it'll be fun to get them in house finally and kind of play around with it.
Very
That's always fun to try a new varietal.
Yeah.
For Arizona. That's
Yep.
really cool.
And go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say too, you guys founded it in 2017, correct?
Correct. Yep.
And then you had wine ready to go by 2018. How did you manage that?
We started making wine in 2018. So
Okay.
and our first release was 2020. So that was
Oh,
our
okay. Okay.
that was our Syrah. So we acquired the grapes from Keeling Schaefer Vineyard on the
Okay.
east
We're
side of
familiar
the
with it.
valley. And then every year we've expanded the different varietals that we bring in and the amount of wine that we're producing. And so up until this year, we acquired all of our grapes from other vineyards in the area, from Rod Keeling's place, Golden Rule Vineyard, Four Tails, host of others are in that mix. But this year we got our first real harvest off of our Petit Verdot
Yes.
and our Picpoul Blanc. So really excited to see what that's going to produce for us. Vines are still incredibly young, 5, 6 years old, but we got fruit after 6 years,
Yeah.
5 years, whatever it's been. Yeah.
Very cool. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, exciting.
And let's see, so what you came into, was it an established vineyard or did you start from the bottom?
We started from scratch, from the dirt. We got on when we acquired this property. We had a house, we had a 1,500 square foot garage, and which we're in right now, which we converted to our winery and cold room. But in the spring of 2018, we broke ground on our first block. It was an acre of Petit Verdot.
Okay.
So yeah,
And
all that kids.
as
Yes.
far as red blends go, how do you determine what percentage of which one fills the barrel and all that?
What tastes good?
Okay.
Literally, it's a blending trial. I mean, normally when you do a blend, it's finished wine that you measure out, like, okay, we're gonna do 3 different wines, we're gonna do 33, 33, 33. So we've got 100%. If that doesn't taste good, you increase one that tastes better and decrease something else, or it's what's called a blending trial, and it can take hours or minutes depending upon how many people you've got playing.
Gotcha. And do you do any single varietal bottles as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we have, right now we have our, Syrah.
Okay.
We have Picpoul Blanc, we have a Riesling, and right now those are the only single.
Sangiovese was that?
Oh, and the Sangiovese Rosé. Sorry,
Yeah.
those are
love
the
that.
only single varietals. But this year we're gonna increase that. So
Cool. Cool.
We had the 8 years later, and that
Cool.
was very, very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And are the grapes handpicked?
They are. Everybody handpicks well, most people handpick their grapes. There's a couple of vineyards that don't, but we generally do.
Okay. And you said you're working on a couple new ones, the Italian ones. When are you
Yeah.
looking to come out with those?
Well, Vermentino will probably come out in 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the Sagrantino, sadly, is probably still 5 or 6 years away.
yeah,
The vines themselves have some growing to do still. And then once we get the fruit, Sagrantino, it generally takes a good 3 years of aging before it's really ready
Yeah.
to put in bottle.
Wow. Okay.
Sagrantino is a fun one. In Italy, they'll harvest, they'll turn it into wine,
Mhm.
and then they shove it in the cellar for 10 years before they even think about opening it and tasting it.
Wow.
Wow, that's great. Because we've never had that one. We've had many, like Graciano for one, that's not grown too many places and stuff like that. And
Right.
that's crazy for that long of a turnaround for it. So, and that's what we've learned doing this is typical, any winery that starts from scratch takes probably about 5 to 7 years to really get started. People don't
Yep.
realize it's 3 years even just to get your first little batch of wine and make sure it's good.
Right.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
And for,
Yeah, it's-
for you
it's,
to jump right into it, to me, that just sounds terrifying.
It was kind of, but in the 5 years, what is it, 6 years that we've been doing this now, it's kind of I never expected to have the success that we've had so far.
Mm.
That's
I mean, I thought, when we started 5 years ago, I've got 5 years to come up with one wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like 5 years in, I need 6 more. 6 more wines. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, that's crazy. And does monsoon season have an effect on everything?
It does. This year was
Very dry.
exceptionally dry across the entire state beginning of the year. We might have got 2 inches during monsoon season on the vineyards, so which was, I think last year we had like 12 or 14. So it's a
Yes.
complete turnaround from what we saw a year ago. So with it being dry, it certainly felt like everything started to ripen and come off the vine at about the same time. So for about 3 weeks, it felt like every day something was coming in from somewhere. So that definitely changed. And it was hotter
Mhm.
this year too. And we had a lot of temperatures over, well over 94 degrees, which if you're a grapevine, you won't like very well. They start to stunt their growth. They stop growing and it takes forever for things to mature. So then you're fighting with the sun and sunburn and all sorts of stuff like that. We go back a year, we had rain that came in. It felt like it was like right on time. It was every few days, we get a little rain. And what it did, then it stretched out our growing season because every time you get ready to harvest grapes, you're looking at what you call your Brix number. So the
Mhm.
sugar content of your grape. And of course, when you get rain, it saturates that number, down it goes. And so then you've got to wait. So it felt like for a period, we were kind of stuck in that loop. When it's wet, you've also got to worry about mold, bugs in your rot,
Mm.
in your grape clusters. So you really got to watch that like a hawk.
Yeah, yeah. And does it affect the reds more than the whites or the whites more than the reds? Is there one that you see it affecting more?
No, it's pretty consistent when you
Pretty
start
consistent.
talking about wet, mold,
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Whites are usually ripen a little earlier.
Hmm.
So they're the ones that you first see that are going to have issues. The reds, so that if you see your Picpoul Blanc having issues, you know that you got to watch your whatever other reds you've got planted or whatever. So,
Yeah.
and it's just a crazy vicious circle.
Do you have to go out and like walk the vineyard daily to check things?
Yes.
Yeah. Is I mean, it could be anything you find, right? A line is broken because a dog ran through it, and so you got water shooting everywhere. So it's checking
Cows.
irrigation, cows getting into your vineyard, been that kind of year. And
What
so
about javelinas? Do they wreak havoc on vineyards at all?
we've been fortunate at our place. I've got two big dogs, and my property is fenced pretty well. So we don't have a lot of javelina issues, but other vineyards,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. They get in and in the pursuit of food, javelinas are single-minded.
Mhm.
And they will go through anything and everything in order to get to it. There's a couple on the vineyard where I work that yeah, we keep seeing them early in the morning traipsing out of the vineyard, but there's no grapes left on the vine, so we're hoping they find their way out the same way they found their way in.
Sure, yeah.
For sure. And what type of barrels do you typically use?
we use barrels that are generally 3 to 4 years old or older. We call that neutral oak.
Okay.
We're not a big fan of heavy oaked wines, but we do want to impart some of the base fundamental oak characteristics. A little creaminess, a little bit of vanilla, but not run you over with a big heavy
Yeah.
oak taste coming out of the wine, right?
Yeah.
We really prefer to let the fruit itself express itself
Yeah.
and be free to do so than fighting against other things.
Especially when you're working with a bunch of varietals of grapes, you don't want you want them to have their own voice in it as opposed to getting from the barrel.
And then same types of barrels for reds and whites?
We'll use barrels that are dedicated for white, and then a red. Yep.
Gotcha.
And at what point of the barrel process do you start sampling the wines to see how far along they are?
Yeah, generally after fermentation is complete.
We'll get a baseline.
Yeah, we'll do a little sampling just to see kind of where it's at.
Make sure there's no issues.
Yeah.
Because you can get other things can take off and start growing in your wine that can ruin it. So you've got to just kind of watch for that. And if it appears, stomp it out. But I equate an aging wine to a teenager.
Mm.
When you first inoculate it, after it first finishes fermentation, it smells nice. It smells fruity. So think of like an infant, right? They smell good after a bath, that sort of thing. But then when they get into that first or early second year, if you haven't walked into a middle schooler's bedroom before, if you have, you know what I mean. It can be a little funky,
Pungent.
pungent. It can be a little rebellious, but it's a matter of just patience and waiting out the process. Because then, by the time we hit that second year on the reds, it's really starting to find itself and come into its own. So, yeah, it's a fun process to kind of watch it and watch the wine go through.
Yeah, fair.
Is alcohol content determined by the length that it's in the barrel?
It's
No.
determined by it starts with the Brix level of your grape when you harvest it. I mentioned sugar content.
Mhm.
That's what yeast is doing. It's converting your sugars to alcohol. So the higher your sugar content at the start, typically the higher your alcohol percentage is going to be at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a rule of thumb, I tend to prefer to harvest at 25 bricks or above. That's just sugar content, your bricks method of testing it. But what that usually translates into as far as alcohol content, roughly, don't quote me, but it's roughly anywhere between 13 and 14% ABV or alcohol by volume when it's all done.
Okay.
So aging does nothing but just mellow that. Once you've got your alcohol, it's pretty much there, unless it's too high and then it kind of vaporizes off, during the aging. But if it's too high, that's what you want anyway. So
Okay.
Yeah.
And what flavor profile are you looking for when you know it's ready to be bottled?
Does it taste good? Does it make me happy?
Yeah.
Um, generally whites, we tend to, the 23 whites that we harvested this year will probably be ready for bottling by April of next year. Unless something tastes weird, and then we'll have to wait and see. But the reds that we've bottled from 22 will probably be ready late in 2024.
Okay.
So it's and the year on the bottle is always the year it was harvested.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah, that's good to know. And what is the bottling process like for you as far as once it's gone from barrel to bottle?
It's called it's just on a big stainless table, and you start off with your filling station. So it's like a 5-bottle filling station. It's all gravity fed. Slap your bottles up. The rest takes care of itself. Then we go to our corker, and then we go to our labeler and back into the box. So it's, to do 2 barrels of wine, to bottle it, it's going to give you, 50 plus cases approximately, and that's going to take you a couple hours with the team of 5 people to work through. Yeah.
Okay.
And then once it's bottled, how soon is it available for retail?
It'll generally be no less than 2 months, right? Because there is a bottle shock is real. Because typically before you bottle, you'll treat it with a little SO2 to help continue to preserve and stabilize your wine.
Yeah.
And then once you put that in the bottle, you still got some of that off gassing. So you want that. That's one of the things you want, is you want that bottle to settle out, kind of the excess SO2 to gas off through the cork, and then 2 to 3 months, it's usually about ready to go.
Perfect.
Yeah, unless you want it to just bottle age longer, which is totally fine.
Yeah. And as far as keeping it, how should consumers store wine, and how long do you recommend storing it for if they want to do it for a long period of time?
Sure. Ideally, temperature controlled. So we keep all of our wine at 55 degrees. So if you have a little wine cellar, a little wine cabinet, whatever, that's the best scenario. Second best would be keep it in a cool, dry place, and preferably on its side, so you keep the cork hydrated, doesn't out on you, crack and split. So reds, a good red will be able to age a good 5 to 7 years before you start to see
oxidation. You see that the flavor profiles deteriorate. Arizona is getting better. I mean, you buy a French wine and you can age that for 20 years and people are like, oh, that's wonderful. Arizona is getting better. It used to be buy it, drink it, be done.
Yeah.
Now it's buy it, sit for a little and see what happens. But there's that 5 to 7 year bell curve that you just need to be aware of. As I said, Arizona wines are getting a lot better. I have tasted 11-year-old wine here in Arizona that is like kind of unheard of, but it's really good.
Yeah.
So
ultimately it comes down to what you like in wine.
yes.
What is your personal preference? If you like them bright and fruity, you want to drink it when they're a little young. If you want to have some more of that earthiness, earth tones starting to come into play, maybe a little mute on the fruitiness itself, then an older bottle might be the right thing for you. It's all a matter of choice. As long as it's still good at the end of the day,
For sure.
as it turns sour or your vinegar, then
Oh yeah, for sure. We used to live on the central coast of California for a while, right around the San Luis Obispo, Paso Robles area. So a lot of wineries out there.
Sure.
But moving here, and well, of course, Justin was born and raised here in Arizona, and we met in California and then moved back out here. But the wine, there's such a huge difference in the wine profile. Arizona wines are so much more superb than California wines.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're all trying really hard.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think too, it's because we can do so much more with all of our climate. We can do so many varietals, like a lot of in California, it's just like Merlots and Cabs, and that's about it.
Sure.
Whereas here we can, I mean, you guys already mentioned two you're working on right now, and then there's the Gracianos we can do. There's the
Yes.
Mouveds and all those different ones. And
Leonico.
Yeah, there's such a diverse, so many diverse climates in Arizona, and you know, see a lot of people kind of going into some areas that aren't necessarily on the map yet, but it's really
Yeah.
going to be interesting to see what they produce at the end of the day. You know, higher climates, you can get into some different varietals like Pinots and that sort of thing. So, I mean, as an industry in this state, we're just getting started.
Yeah.
There's a lot of phenomenal winemakers out there, people doing some really great stuff.
Mhm.
And so, it's a bright future for Arizona. Sure.
and everyone here works together, which
Yeah.
is nice too.
Which I was just going to ask if you network with other winemakers and vineyards.
All the time.
All the
Yeah.
time.
See, that's the difference too, is in California, everyone's like, no, I don't want you to see what we're doing. And here it's like, no, let's work together. Like, hey,
Collaborate.
what do you, have you worked with this grape before? How did it react? Stuff like that.
Exactly.
That's,
Yeah.
It's definitely a community friendly, very friendly community environment out here.
Mhm.
You hit it on the head, people willing to help each other, offer advice and that sort of thing. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, that's what we've learned doing this as well. So, and what events do you have coming up?
Which ones don't we have coming up? So next weekend we've got Tombstone. So that's always a fun little event.
Ooh.
There's like 6 or 7
Okay.
wineries there in downtown Tombstone. So you get to experience all of that and have some wine. Then 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, we have Wilcox Wine Festival.
Okay.
It's always a big one here in the Wilcox area. And we've got Pierce Wine Festival, kind of that same weekend, and Cochise Days. And then the following weekend, we're going to be at a little ranch, just maybe 30 minutes from here, called Rendezvous at the Ranch. It's exactly what it is. It's a little ranch. You got goats and cows and chickens and all sorts of different things. So there'll be maybe 4 wineries at that event. It's very small, little local crafters. It's really a lot of fun if you want to get out of the city and just have a place to kind of relax and look at farm animals do their thing. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of fun.
We're in Tombstone a lot. When are you guys going to be in Queen Creek again?
We will be back up there next month
Okay.
at their, I think it's a harvest party.
Yeah, I used to work
Yeah.
there, so
Oh, right on.
yeah, yeah. So I see you guys are there all the time. So next time you're here, we're definitely going to go out there and say hi and everything. So
Look forward to it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's that they've been a great company to work with. People are so very friendly and helpful there to get things done. So
Yes.
it's been a great experience.
And do you have a tasting room? And 2-part question. Also, do you have a wine club?
Tasting room, yes, we're setting in it. It's also called our winery and cold storage. But yeah, we've got that here. Our wine club, everything's in the works right now, so I'll be releasing that hopefully by
For the end of the year.
definitely before the end of the year, but hopefully before Wilcox. We'll see.
Yeah.
And where can our listeners find your wine, and especially like in the Chandler, Tempe kind of? I know you guys are at Von Hansen's is one of them, which is where we
Correct.
found it.
We found it, yeah.
Yep, yeah, we got Von Hansen's, so they're carrying I think 3. Then we're also at the Wine Collective of Scottsdale
Okay.
on Scottsdale Road in
In
Indian School.
Mhm.
So that's a great little bottle shop.
Yeah, we've been there. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
been there. Yeah, it's right near. There's a bunch of really good wineries right there, and
Yeah.
I like that they carry a lot of different
Yeah.
things too that are just there.
Exactly. Yep.
Um,
And then you mentioned the olive mill. So those are so what we have today in the Phoenix area.
Awesome. Yeah.
So outside of the winery, what do you guys like to do on downtime?
Yeah.
Mo.
Yeah. We have
Downtime?
our kids all live near us. They've given us some grandkids, so we get to spend some time with them and the kids too.
Yeah.
Aside from that, it's catching up on some of our shows, like Lower Decks, and whatever else we're watching at the time. So yeah, try to relax a little bit.
That's
before-
our downtime.
About music.
jump
Are you
into it.
are you guys into music?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Cool.
I enjoy listening to music.
Because I was asking because usually we ask our guests, because Justin's a drummer and he has a prog metal band here in Arizona, and since our podcast is called Drumming Up Conversation, we usually ask people who their favorite drummers are.
The one I probably respect the most, Rick Allen.
Okay.
From Def
Awesome.
Leppard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lost that arm, decades ago. Figured out how to do it.
Of course, we're huge Def Leppard fans. So,
That's awesome.
you know,
Great.
Really cool.
Neil Peart, obviously he's no longer with us, but the dude could play some drums.
It's hard to see, but he has his whole Russian
yeah.
there.
I see it.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I got his lyrics right here and everything too, right after he died. So yeah.
But yeah, so those are a couple. Yeah,
Mhm.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
very cool. And do you ship?
we do ship.
Okay.
We ship to all states that allow us to ship into.
Mhm. Okay.
Fair enough. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
And they can find
Website.
everything on your website then and order and all that?
They can do it, order all online. Our store, we just opened the store back up now that it's not as hot,
Mhm.
so we can start shipping again. So yep, yeah.
Okay.
we usually
perfect.
end up shipping October through April, just because May, June, and July, and the rest of it is just
Yeah.
too hot.
Yeah, we get that for sure.
And then you're on Instagram, Facebook.
Yep. All the usual
Awesome.
social media places. Yep, for sure.
Perfect. And we'll put all that in the show notes and everything as well. So we'll
right,
put
cool.
all that. So, well, we thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
very
us.
I
And
know you're busy.
we know
right
you're
now.
super busy. I know we know what time of year this is for you. So we greatly
Yeah.
appreciate you guys coming on. So
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot. This was a lot of fun,
Thanks.
and we look forward to seeing it.
Sorry it got
Yes.
postponed so many times, but it
Take
had
care, everyone.
awesome.
Bye.
Thank you.
Drumming up conversation.